Do I look comfy? You can have a full frame, you can crop it closer, you can crop it wider. We are part of nature, you know, and we are, during the years now, we naturally, unconsciously, I guess, distancing ourselves from nature, because we're trying to create ourselves a comfortable environment, just like any human being is trying to lean for comfort, and you always lean towards what's actually comfort for you, no matter what. So we create the city, and you know, which is completely different biome in the world, which is not natural. So it's not, we started changing our lives to something that is more practical, more comfortable for us. We feel safe in there, and obviously that makes us to distance ourselves from nature and understanding how actual physical things are changing in nature and happening around you, and experience them, more of a unique thing, not just the wind and rain, but experience a short, huge amounts of gust of wind that knocks you out your feet. People don't get that anymore, even because they don't experience the grass fields and be scared in the forest and stuff like that. So this, I think, creates humbleness in people and understanding of that you don't live alone in the world. And I would say so, something like that. Again, it sounds probably very cheesy, because everyone would probably say this, but I guess greed, especially these days, myself being exposed to business environment and creative people who actually work together, you see that I see that human intentions these days, and whatever you do a project, you do a business, you do something, it's all goal orientated. It's orientated to benefit from it. So if you do business, you want to do business just to make money. It doesn't matter what kind of product you do, you just want to make money out of that product. This is your end goal. And where I more value integrity, where you want to make project, you become something, you make it good because you want to improve something, and then you make money out of it. And you try to incorporate so you could live out of it, rather than taking it as a cow that you want to milk, and that's it, you know. You're doing it just for the product of it, for the money. And this is, I think, the most that sits as like, yeah, pains in me. Community. Why community matters is a little bit of it's a crossroad for me on such subject, because not to understand wrongly, I support communities in the more power to them. But I find that if it takes a little bit too far, it starts diminishing individualism. And when individualism is diminished, everything becomes in a little bit of a unified mass, and ideas, and more controversial ideas, and maybe more radical ideas, and the things are being died out. So that's how I feel that there has to be balance. Some people really need community, and some people really don't need community, because they are good at being what they do. They're really being at singly focusing, and not you know, something is distracting. Because I find myself in a little bit sometimes in that and in that. That's why. So a little bit of a conflicted, I would say, in the situational. To coexist with each other, I guess it's just to understand that we are all, I guess, the same, just maybe with different needs. And if I would look most likely in some situations from your, let's say, eyes, my opinion would be different, most likely. So I guess we have to accept that we are all the same, but we also see everything with different perspective. So put it into that account, you know, then it would, at least one thing that maybe would help us to understand each other better and stop distancing ourselves so much.
Why kindness matters? Well, kindness is love, right? And love matters. If there was no love, if love didn't exist, we wouldn't exist. So kindness is very connected to love. So there is no life without kindness. we may as well just demolish ourselves, basically, which is where we're heading, because there is a lack of kindness. Anger. I get angry all the time. Lately, I guess disappointment and anger for me lately has come from, politics. What's been happening in the world has been really angering me and disappointing me, and being disappointed by people. I've just been really pissed off. And it's not going away. I thought that the being pissed off would disappear after being a teenager. No, it's getting even worse. The thing is, sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. Sometimes I feel that yes, there is something exciting about the future. It's the unknown, but the reality that's presented to us is showing us the opposite, actually. So it's very difficult to keep this excitement, this momentum of excitement, because everything that we're exposed to, what we see, what we read in the news, what we hear, it doesn't sound very exciting at all. It sounds quite dismal. Nuclear war. Nuclear war is actually something to be afraid of right now. Any war, actually, what's happening right now is something to be afraid of. We should be terrified right now. This is Third World War that's on its way. And it's a beginning. That's what we should be afraid of, yeah. I love new cultures. Old cultures, like other cultures, yeah. I grew up in Melbourne. So I've always been around other cultures. On my street, there were Filipinos living across the road, Macedonian, Turkish. It was just a multi-culti suburb I was living in. I've always, that's normal for me, actually. I think it's a bit strange living in a place where there aren't so many cultures mixed together. Yeah, of course I care about sustainability. I think we all should care, but in the real sense, not in the fake sustainability marketed sense, but in the do something, whatever you can, try, do something. Don't consume, don't buy that plastic, don't buy, live without, actually. The problem is we can't live without. We're so spoiled. We're just used to having everything.
That's why you created your brand?
I think for me there's no point in creating if you're going to trash the planet. What's the point of creating? I don't care. Like, what's the point of creating cool stuff that's going to be in a landfill? It's going to be cool for one season, and then it's going to be thrown in landfill for what? We're living in such a consumerist-driven society. It's sickening. It's getting worse. And there's so much virtue signaling with sustainability, especially in fashion. Everybody's green and everybody's this. It's bullshit. And I think we have to be more radical, basically. Look, I'm not saying that I'm perfect. I'm launching a brand, anything that you do, anything that you make from new is not great for the environment. But the fact is, come on, there is going to be some production. We just have to be sensible about it and be conscious of what we produce and how we produce it, and quantities, and rethink production, reuse, rethink, recreate, borrow, give, find other ways. I haven't really experienced it for how I look. Because I have white skin, and I've been lucky enough to, especially in where I've lived here, for example, I kind of go under the radar. Of course, being in Denmark, I've been here for about 9-10 years now. Of course, I do sense there is an element of where, who are you, where are you from, you're not one of us. But I try not to think about it. I don't care, because everybody is a little bit like that, actually. Everybody has their judgments. Every culture has their judgments. Every culture. So you're going to find it everywhere you go. No, actually, I wouldn't. I wouldn't. Too much responsibility, way too much responsibility. And I think you have to be a bit corrupt. You have to be a bit corrupt to be a president as well. It will corrupt you otherwise.
Wonderful.
I feel why kindness matters to me. I see kindness, I want to treat people. No, I want to be treated the way I treat people, and that's kind. I feel like if you're kind, you will achieve a lot of things in life instead of if you're not. So I feel like kind people, yeah, love you. Whoa. I hope so, because right now it's not looking good. But I don't know if the future is exciting. It's also kind of scary, especially if you see what's going on this day and age. So sometimes I'm like, what's coming next? So I think it is exciting, but also scary. Definitely don't judge people. There's way too much judgmental. Just be open for every religion, ethnicity, whatever. And just be genuine. I think if you're genuine and you allow everyone into your life, I think there would be a better coexistence. I might be afraid of like taking risks sometimes. Just when something feels comfortable, I just tend to stick with that. So yeah, but I definitely have to do better. Yeah, at taking risk, because just like I said, it feels comfortable, and even though I want to do something else because it's new to me, like whenever I do something new, I want to know everything about it immediately. I want to be the best at it, and obviously you can't do that from the beginning. So that's why I don't like to take risks, because I feel like I'm good in what I'm doing, but it also like blocks me from creating new opportunities or sometimes. So I have to take risks in life. I've always enjoyed fashion. I think since I was like 14, I was also always dressing other than other people, because I didn't want to like fit in, and I wanted to express myself in the best way that I could, and that was clothing. And yeah, back in the days, I didn't have that much money. I was just having like a student job, so I couldn't buy expensive things. But I remember buying like my first pair of Jordans with my own money. I was so proud about it. And then I started like working more like high fashion, and you get more money. And I got I also do modeling, so I got into like the real high fashion stuff. But I definitely enjoy fashion. I study fashion. I would say fashion is my passion. Yeah, definitely. Especially where I'm from Belgium, it's like a small-minded. Ghent is a small-minded city, so I would always feel like people would always look at me, and I know that people look, but to be honest, I don't care, because I feel good in what I wear. I feel confident in what I wear. So most of the times I don't even like see it as a bad thing. Just like, oh, they're looking at me. So, but I also had a lot of positive things since I moved to Copenhagen. Like I know people were looking at me, but it was in a good way. And people come up to me in the club and they were like, "Oh my God, you look so good. Oh, you look so nice." I'm like, "Oh, thank you." So ever since I moved here, I definitely got like good reactions out of it. So.
Good question, my lawyer. Should we do it again? In daily life, kindness is love, you know. How can we do without? A lack of consideration. I mean, personally, Well, personally, yes, because I have my child, and things are getting together in my life, so it's really exciting. But yeah, so I would like to say yes. I do. I do. I do my part as much as possible. I don't say it's perfect. I can do a lot more. But yes, I do care. Also, me as a mother having a child, you know, I should care for the future. The biggest change is that I put myself secondly.
Was it hard?
It came so naturally. My child is the first always. It's just, yes, I think it's a motherhood. But it's a big change in my life. Be yourself. Always. When I'm honest.
I'm Kevin. I am 34, and I am here to talk about kindness and coexisting, and yeah, I here to be interviewed. The last person that was kind to me was somebody at work. I just started a new job, so I had a hard time understanding and being thrown into a situation with a lot of new things. And a colleague of mine took the responsibility of showing me the ropes and showing me how to do the job. I feel lonely at times. I feel lonely when I'm sad. I feel lonely when I want to do certain things and nobody else wants to do it. But and sometimes I also feel lonely in bigger crowds, I guess. So I think my life is a journey of knowing myself, and knowing myself, I would be a better version, I guess, more successful, more, and I think I have an idea of myself, and also maybe my ego is blurring my vision of who I am, but I have a kind of an okay understanding of the person who I am and the person who I have become from my beginning to now, and I will not say I know fully myself, but I have a rough understanding of what it is to be Kevin. I experience life, and I guess the human condition is not always an easy experience. And of course, I've experienced the whole spectrum of emotions, and hate and judgment and racism and discrimination is also one of them. And it's just the cost of doing business, I guess. Or yeah, it is what it is. I don't want to use a lot of time on even thinking about it, because it's so easy to become annoyed and frustrated and just like, I don't have time for that. So yeah. Finding harmony and balance and knowing myself and growing and being ambitious about who I am and what I want to become. Get good friends, man. Like, the people who you hang out with define you. It's so sad, and never ever be scared of cutting people out of your life. I might do that a bit too much, but there's a balance, and there's a tribe out there that is gonna be where you belong, and is gonna fit who you are. And don't ever be limited to thinking that you can only be with these friends. And these friends, if you don't have them, you're gonna be lonely. Fuck that shit. So yeah, get good friends, and get friends that inspire you, and get friends that are good at stuff that you are not, because yeah, like you are your 5 best friends. That's who you're gonna become. So if you want to become good at stuff or something, it's good to be around people that are good at stuff, because you should inspire to be good at as well, I guess.
So my name is Julia, and I live in Copenhagen. I'm an architect, and I am 33. So the last kind person to me was my neighbor, because I lost my washing chip and she wanted to loan me hers. It didn't work out in the end, but I found it very, very kind that she offered to help. I don't really hate people. I think hate is a very harsh word. I find them annoying instead of hating them. Like that, yeah. Well, the fear of war, which I've never experienced before, like so close. The fear of losing everything that I know, the fear of uncertainty, the fear of really using every kind of, I don't know, value or familiarity, because the world is going to change super fast if it's gonna go bad, I guess. I think it's time for us to listen more rather than just listen to be ready to answer, but listen and understand. I think that will help us coexist a little bit better. I don't really feel myself recently. I don't know who I am. I feel like I'm changing every 5 minutes. I don't know. Also, our circumstances are very uncertain, so maybe that's why I don't really feel myself. I'm changing my hair color every second day. So maybe like that. I don't know. I mean, grounds me. I think it's maybe nature or the closeness or family or friends. Peace. I would advise think twice, please. I beg of you. I experienced some sort, but I think hatred is very harsh. I think it was mostly fear of the unknown, and yeah, to a certain extent, but I have to say that I sort of like blocked in my head all of these experiences away, and then I don't know, I tried to not really think and focus about that. Of course, you know, there were situations where I was judged for who I am or where I come from, but it's not really something that's really stuck with me in that way. I don't really mind those people, and that's why I don't really keep it close in my head, that kind of hatred. I definitely appreciate honesty, openness, being non-judgmental, good listeners, people who say and do, authenticity, yeah, something like that. Oh my God, where do I start? I think the most stupid was not really trusting my gut a lot of times. I think that's the one that really like almost sabotaged my my goals. Not really trusting my gut and not really trusting myself, and always in doubt or always judging myself very harshly, instead of just like leaning in and pushing forward, even though my ideas were not like super ordinary or accepted. I guess that's the thing, like really trusting my inner self or instinct. That was the most stupid thing. The other stuff are just life anecdotes.
My name is Agate. I come from Latvia, and I have hit 30 years of age. Okay, yeah, it works. I think you just realize that the age doesn't matter that much anymore. It's just a number, and you just feel more at peace, maybe. Don't feel like you need to please people so much as before. It's a nice feeling. Now more than ever. So but it's been a challenge, a big challenge in my life. Just concentrating on not overworking and respecting my boundaries. I think that's one of the biggest things. Well, I started my life with never being kind to myself, just actually being cruel to myself, and so it's been always trying to remind to myself that I should treat me as I treat my friends and members of my family, and it's been like challenging to behave with kindness towards myself, but over the years I have become better and better at it. Well, it definitely expanded my horizons, because originally, you know, I have lived in the same city all my life until age 20, and I only knew what was always there. And since I moved abroad, I have met so many amazing people from everywhere in the world, and it has definitely broadened my horizons and made me way more tolerant. Like, not that I wasn't tolerant before this, but I have easier time to realize what it is to be tolerant towards other people and cultures. And yeah, so it has definitely made me better at appreciating the beauty of other people and other cultures, and accepting it as it is, and just be kind no matter how people are. And even if sometimes things seem strange to me, I just take it as like, oh, that's interesting, and I like that about myself now. Yeah, it comes with being a foreigner sometimes, because people see you as somebody who has come to their land, and they don't know your intentions, so they can be a little bit rude, or actually they can be cruel. And I think when I was younger, it really bothered me, because I just thought, this is not true. What they think of me is a complete lie. But, and it really, yeah, I couldn't stop thinking about it for a long period of time. But this is maybe something that comes with age, and this like people-pleasing thing, that I know that I don't need to be liked by everybody in the world. And it's impossible to be liked by everybody. So I kind of have stopped caring so much about their opinion. So even if people are mean to me, I'm like, it's their problem. They are ruining their own life with being cruel and spreading this negativity.